Good morning. Today we'll be studying the first chapter of Hilchot Sota. Um, highly recommended for anyone who wants to study this treatise to go over the Pesukim in Bemidbar Perek He that we read in Parashat HaShavua only a few weeks ago, where the Torah describes the ordeal and the process and procedure of an Isha Sota. The word Sota here, if anyone can see on YouTube, is spelled with a samech. In Rabbi Yochai Makbili's version, it's spelled with a sin, and it's related to the word listot, also related satan, and it pretty much means to deviate. And the case that we're going to be speaking about in Isha Sota is pretty much a woman who deviated from her husband, and it's an ordeal administered for a wife whose husband suspects her of adultery, and after he warned her, we find that she is secluded with a person that her husband warned her not to be secluded with, and she is taken to the Bet HaMikdash, and we'll see exactly the procedure in the following chapters. And the husband doesn't have witnesses to make a formal case, but again, he warned her not to seclude with someone, and we found her secluded with the individual that she was warned not to be secluded with. Now, in the Jewish home, a relationship between a husband and wife and a healthy marriage is based on loyalty and trust between the husband and the wife. And again, because the husband suspects the women of cheating on him after he warns her, that's why we have this whole process of the sota, because the loyalty and trust between the husband and wife is broken. And this is a pretty, the whole idea of the sota, and as we'll see in the halachot and chapters that follow, is a little bit experience both for the husband and for the woman. And it's only because we want to strengthen the loyalty and trust between the husband and the wife. So, relationship that there is of the trust, um, the whole procedure of the sota is done, and it's the only time that Hakadosh name as the Father who is written on is written done to clear the woman from her. This all came pretty much from the moment and remembered Harambam. This is what הלכות סוטה, בכללן 3 מצוות in the שתי מצוות. Just to a her husband gets her, as we'll see with Bill, but brought live on, and the elaboration of these mitzvot are in the following chapters. Hilchot Sota Perek Aleph. Halacha Aleph. Kinoi ha'amur b'Torah, the warning that is mentioned in the Torah when it says v'kineh et ishto, that he must warn his wife, hushi yomar la bifnei edim al tisatri im peloni, is when the husband tells her in the presence of witnesses that you may not seclude yourself with so and so. Afilo haya aviha o ahiha o. Mehila, the connection was lost. So let me begin the halacha again. The warning that the Torah mentions that a husband must warn his wife is that the husband must tell his wife in the presence of witnesses that you may not seclude yourself with so and so. Even if it was her father or her brother or a non-Jew or a servant or someone who is shahuf, someone that is impotent, and someone that has some type of, again, erectile dysfunction and cannot have children. In meaning, Harambam is telling us that it's improbable that they had relations. Even so, if the husband warns his wife not to seclude with him, she cannot seclude herself with him. Halacha Bet. Hasitira ha'amura b'Torah v'nistera, the seclusion that the Torah says v'nistera, and she secluded herself with him. Is that she secludes herself with the same person that her husband warned her not to seclude herself with, in the presence of two witnesses. Im shahat imo kedei tum'ah shehu kedei lislot betza ulgom'ah harezo asura al ba'ala shetishte mehamarim ve'ibadek hadavar. If she remained with him long enough to defile herself, which is the time it takes to roast an egg and to swallow it, she is prohibited to be with her husband until she drinks from the mehamarim, from the bitter waters, as we'll see what that exactly that is in the next couple of chapters, and the matter is properly examined. And at a time in which there aren't the waters to give a sota, she is prohibited to be with him forever, and she is divorced without receiving the money of the ketubah. Halacha Gimal. Kinela im shenaim ke'ehad. If he warned her about two people, if her husband warned her about two people simultaneously, ve'amarla, and he told her, ati satiri im peloni ufloni, and he told her not to seclude herself with so and so and with so and so, with two different people. And she secluded herself with both of them at the same time, and she remained with them long enough to defile herself. Even if it was two of her brothers or her brother and her father, she is prohibited to be with him until she drinks the mesota. Halacha Daled. Amar lah bifnei shenaim. If he told her in the presence of two witnesses, al tidabri im peloni, and ze kinui, he told her in the presence of two witnesses, don't speak with so and so. This is not considered a proper warning. Even though she may have secluded herself with the person whom her husband warned her not to speak with, even if she secluded herself in the presence of witnesses and she remained with him long enough to defile herself, she is not prohibited upon him, and she doesn't drink the waters of the sota with this in this type of warning. וכן אם אמר לה אל תסתרי עמו וראוה מדברת עמו, אין זו סתירה ולא נאסרה ולא שותה. So too, if he told her, don't seclude yourself with so and so, and we saw her speaking to the same person who the husband warned her not to seclude herself with, this is not considered seclusion or setira, and she is not prohibited to him, and she doesn't drink the waters of Sota. וכן אם לא קדם כינוי, ובאו שניים והעידו שנסתרה עם זה בשעת כדי טומאה, לא נאסרה על בעלה ואינו שותה. So too, if the warning didn't precede the arrival of two witnesses, and the witnesses come and testify that she secluded herself with someone long enough to defile herself, she is not prohibited on her husband, and she doesn't drink the waters of the Sota. Halacha he. Amar la, al tisatri im peloni. If the husband tells her not to seclude herself with so-and-so, and he was less than 9 years old in one day, which, as we mentioned before, this type of minor, his bi'ah is not considered bi'ah. Relations with him are not considered relations. Or if the husband told her not to seclude herself with this animal, this is not considered a proper warning, because the pasuk says that a man must be with her, and the Torah specified man to exclude a minor less than 9 years old in one day, and an animal that don't prohibit her to be with him. Halacha vav. Ba'al shemahal al kinuyo kodem shetisater, kinuyo mahul uchilu lo kinela. A husband that forgave a prior warning before she secluded with the individual, his warning is considered the forgiveness of this warning is valid, and it's as if he never warned her at all. But after she secluded herself with the person, the husband cannot forego or forgive his warning. If he divorced her, this is as if he forgave his prior warning, and if he remarried her, he must give her a new warning. Again, this is assuming that he wanted to warn her about a certain individual, so he must do it again. Halacha zayin. Kine la bifne shenaim. If the husband warned her in the presence of two witnesses, וראה אותה שנסתרה עם זה שקינא לה עליו, ושעת כדי טומאה, הרי זו אסורה עליו, ויוציא וייתן כתובה שאינו יכול להשקותה על פי עצמו. If, again, the husband warned her in the presence of two witnesses, and he himself, the husband, saw that she secluded herself with the person that he warned her not to be with, and he saw her remain with him long enough to defile herself, she is prohibited to be with him, and he must divorce her and give her the money of the ketubah, because just based on his own testimony, we don't have his wife drink the waters of the Sota. Again, as I mentioned before, we need two witnesses to see her be secluded. So too, if the husband heard people speaking about his wife after he warned her and after the seclusion that he saw, and again, if the husband again heard people speaking about her after the warning and after the seclusion, I'm reading here from the edition of Rabbi Yochanan Makbili, where it says Ahasha nistera ahar hakinui v'setira. Mehila, 1 second. Yes, in the edition that's on YouTube, it says ha'amir aninin ahara kinui, but in the version of Rabbi Yochanan Makbili, which seems to be the most accurate, it says ahara kinui v'setira. So if which is a pretty significant difference, but we'll use the addition for Rabbi Yochanan Makbili. So if the husband hears people speaking about her after he warned her and after he saw her being secluded, or until he hears from the women that weave at night, who speak about her, that she she had relations with the person that he warned her about. And again, these women at night that we're talking about are pretty much women that would speak about gossip, and is substantial evidence that substantiate the rumors of the people, the general public speaking about her. So if again these women are talking about her that she had relations with a person that he warned her not to have relations with, the husband cannot be with her and must divorce her and give her the ketubah. הלכה ח' בא עד אחד והעיד לו שנסתרה עמו אחר כינוי ושהת כדי טומאה. If one witness came and testified that she secluded herself with the person after her husband warned her and remained with her in order to defile herself, again, as we mentioned before, we need two witnesses for her to drink, and in this case there's only one. If this one witness, if the husband believes this one witness and he relies on what he says, he must divorce his wife and give her the money for the ketubah. But if he doesn't believe him, his wife is permitted to be with him and he doesn't need to divorce her. And the following people are the husbands in which Bet Din warns them, again in place of the husband. Someone whose husband became deaf mute, or the husband, or if the husband became mentally incapacitated, or if he went to a different city, or if the husband was imprisoned. And the Bedin can warn them not to have her drink the Misota, rather for the husband to divorce her without paying out the ketubah. Halacha Yod, Ketzad, how so? In which case does Bedin warn this type of woman? Ketzad, how so? Bedin heard that the general public was speaking about some woman that she had relations with someone. The court calls her and tells her, do not seclude yourself with so and so. If two witnesses come after this warning, and testify that she secluded herself with the person that Bedin warned her not to be with, and they saw that she remained with him in the time substantial, remained with him long enough to defile herself. Bedin has the right to prohibit her on her husband forever. And Bedin actually tears up her ketubah. And when the husband comes to Bedin from the place that he was, or if he becomes healed from being deaf mute, or from his mental incapacity, or if he comes back from being in jail, he gives her the get. And he cannot have her drink the waters of the Sota because he himself never warned her. Halacha Yod Aleph. Shatat me hamarim v'niketa mehen. If the woman drank the bitter waters, and she was found to be innocent, and then the husband came back and warned her about the same person that she drank the waters originally from, and she secluded herself with that same person, the husband cannot have her drink because of this individual a second time. Rather, she is prohibited to be with her husband, and she must be divorced, and she is to be divorced and doesn't receive the money for her ketubah. But if the husband warned her about someone else and she secluded herself with that other person with witnesses, he can have her drink the meshota a second time, even multiple times, provided that it was for a different person each time. Halacha Gima. Hishka otah vegereshah v'niset la'acher וקינא לה אם האיש שהשקע אותה הבעל הראשון בגללו, ונסתרה עמו בעדים, הרי הבעל השני משקה אותה על ידו מפני שהוא בעל שני. If a husband had her drink the waters and then divorced her, and then she married someone else, and then the second husband warned her about the same person that she originally drank the waters of the Sota from the first husband, and she secluded herself with the same person, with edim, and when we have edim to prove this, the second husband can have her drink the waters of the Sota because he is a second husband and he still has this right. ואפילו מאב ונישאת לזה אחר זה משכין אותה על ידי איש אחד, ואין אומרים ודאי שהוחזקה לזה וטמאה עד שיהיה שם עד. And this applies to 100 different husbands that she may marry, and the new husband has the right to have the woman drink the mesota for the same individual, even though she drank the waters, even though, yes, she was divorced, because even though the previous husband divorced her for the same person, each new husband reserves the right to warn her about the same person. And we don't say that she is presumed to be defiled by that person, again, until we have witnesses to substantiate that she was with him and have her, in order to have her drink the mesota. הלכה י"ג האישה שקינא לה בעלה ונסתרה אחר הכינוי עמו בעדים, והרי היא עומדת לשתות, ובא עד אחד והעיד עליה שנבעלה בפניו עם זה שקינא לה עמו, הרי זו אסורה על בעלה לעולם, ואינה שותה ויוצאה בלא כתובה, ואפילו היה עד טומאה זה אחד מעדי סתירה, שנאמר ועד אין בה, והרי עד. So the rest of the chapter will deal with we'll deal with one witness that may or may not be believed in regards to a sota. And again, as I mentioned at the opening of the chapter, a woman's drinking of the mehamarim was pretty much a last resort. So a woman that her husband warned her about someone, and she secluded herself with that individual in the presence of witnesses, and she is about to drink the waters of the sota. And then one witness comes and testifies that she had relations with the person that the husband warned her not to be with. She is prohibited to be with her husband forever, and she does not drink the mesota, and she is divorced without getting the money of the ketubah, even if that witness was the witness that saw even if he was the witness that saw them be together, and he was even if the witness that saw them together was one of the witnesses that saw them secluded, as the Torah says that there was not a witness that saw them have relations, and here we have a witness that again saw them have relations. So again, as this is something we mentioned before, that he doesn't actually have to see them having relations, but he sees them pretty much about to be together. And this is one of the only places in the Torah that we allow, that we permit the testimony of one witness, because there is substantial evidence for us to presume that they had relations, again, because we have edim of the warning, and we have edim that they were secluded. So if there's one witness that come and says that he saw them have relations or about to have relations, we believe this individual. And the Gemara says the expression the Gemara uses is raglaim ladavar, shehare kinela venistera, that there is again enough substantial evidence and enough for us to presume that they had relations after the kinoi, and after we have witnesses of the kinoi, and after we have witnesses for the setira. הלכה י"ד אפילו אישה ועבד ושפחה ופסול לעדות בעבירה מדברי סופרים, ואפילו קרוב נאמן לעדות סוטה להעיד עליה שזינית ותאסר על בעלה לעולם ואינה שותה ותצא בלא כתובה. Even a woman or a servant, a female or male servant, or someone who is invalid to testify because he did an avira midrabanan, even and also a relative, are believed are believed in the case of a sota to testify that she had relations in order to prohibit her on her husband, and for her not to drink the mesota, and for her to leave her husband again and to be divorced without getting the money of the ketubah. Provided that we already have the warning and we already have seclusion, all in the presence of valid witnesses, the Torah, and the fact that the Torah believed one witness in regards to Tum'ah. Because of all of this, all the people that we mentioned before are valid to testify in regards to this, meaning in regards to the women having relations with the person after, again, a proper kinoi and the proper setira, all in the presence of witnesses. אף 5 הנשים ששונאות זו את זו מעידות על זו שנטמאת, ונאמנת עליה לאסור על בעלה ושלא להשקותה, אבל לא לפוסלה מכתובתה, אלא נוטלת כתובתה ויוצאה. So the 5 women that are presumed to dislike each other may testify about one another that they had relations and that they were defiled by the person again after the kinui and the sitira, and they are believed to prohibit her on her husband and not to have her drink the mesota, but they aren't believed to have her to invalidate her ketubah. Rather, if one of these women testify that she had relations with a person again that the husband warned her not to have relations with, provided the proper kinui and setira, she does take the ketubah after the husband divorced her, in contrast to the cases that we mentioned earlier that she doesn't get the ketubah, because again, the 5 women we presume have some type of interest, but again, they are believed not to have her drink the me hamarim and to prohibit her on her husband. The 5 women, as we mentioned before, in Hilchot Girushin Perek Yud Bet, are the mother-in-law, the daughter-in-law, a co-wife, the yevama, and the daughter of her husband from another wife. And again, these women, as you mentioned in Hilchot Gerushin, wouldn't be believed to testify on the death of her husband or the Yabam. But again, here we believe their testimony enough to prohibit her on her husband, because again, iraglaim yesh la davar, as we mentioned before. Halakha Tet Zayin. Ba'ed echad kasher ve'amar nitmet. If one valid witness comes and says that she was defiled and that she had relations, this woman does not drink the mehamarim, as we mentioned a few moments ago. But if another witness comes and contradicts this first witness and says that they did not have relations, we don't listen to the second witness, because one witness in regards to the defiling of a sota is like 2. And the second witness cannot override the testimony of the first witness, because again, it's as if he is 2. The first witness again that says that she had relations. Ba'u shenehen ke'ehad. If the 2 of them come at the same time, ze omer nitmet ve ze omer lo nitmet. And one witness says that they had relations. One witness says that they didn't have relations. O she'amar ehad nitmet uba'u shenayim aharav ve'amru lo nitmet harezo shota. If one comes and says that she had relations, and then 2 others come after and say that she didn't have relations, she does drink the meh hamarim, because again, they're equal in their testimony is weighed equally, because again, one in regards to having relations is Yes, because one witness in regards to a sota having relations is like two, and now two people come and contradict his testimony, so their testimony is pretty much equal. So we have her drink the mesota. הלכה י"ז בא עד אחד כשר ונשים רבות או פסולין רבים כאחד. If one valid witness comes and many women or many people invalid for testimony come at the same time, העד אומר נטמאת. The one witness says that she was defiled and had relations. והנשים והפסולין אומרים לא נטמאת. And the women or the invalid people say that she was not defiled and didn't have relations, harezo shota, she does drink in this case, she'ed echad ufsulin rabin kemehza al mehzahim, because one witness and one valid witness and many invalid witnesses are considered to have equal weight in their testimonies. Halacha yodhet, hayu kulan pesulin, holchin achar harov. If they were all invalid witnesses, we go by the majority. Ketzad, how so? Sheten hashim omrot nitmet veshalosh omrot lo nitmet harezo shota. If two women come and say that she was defiled, and three come and say that she was not defiled, she does drink the mehamarim. Shalosh omrot lo nitmet ve'arba omrot nitmet harezo ena shota. If three women say that she was not defiled, and four women say that she was, she does not drink. If they were exactly half and half, she does drink the mehamarim. Halacha yotet, final halacha. Kol shota sota she'ena shota mipnei ede tum'ah, harezo asura ba'ala la'olam v'tetzeh belo ketubah, שהרי נאסרה בכינוי וסתירה, והשתייה שתתירה נמנעה, שהרי יש בה עד כמו שבאנו. Any sota that does not drink because of witnesses that testify that she had relations with the person that she was warned and that she was secluded with, she is prohibited to be with her husband forever, and she is divorced without receiving the money for her ketubah, because she was prohibited to be with him because of the kinoi and the setira, and her drinking the mehamarim that will validate her to her husband and that will confirm what she says, is that option is pretty much taken away, because she has one witness, as we mentioned earlier. She has one witness that saw her have relations, and that is enough to prohibit her to be with her husband. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.